Most people get this wrong when they try to start a company in Japan. They assume it is similar to the US or Europe, where you can register online in a few hours and start operating immediately. But Japan works very differently. It is highly structured, document-heavy, and precision-driven. Here's the truth no one tells you. Japan is not difficult because it is impossible. It is difficult because every step must be done in the correct order, with the correct documents, and in the correct legal format. If you miss even one detail, your application can be delayed for weeks. And here's the interesting part. Once you understand the system, Japan becomes one of the most stable and predictable places in the world to build a long-term business. In this video, you are going to learn exactly how to start a company in Japan in 2026, step by step. We will cover legal structures, registration, visa requirements, bank accounts, taxes, and the most common mistakes foreigners make. And stay with me, because in a minute, I'll show you the easiest company structure foreigners use to legally operate in Japan, without unnecessary complications. Let's begin from the very foundation. If you want to start a company in Japan, the first decision is your legal structure. This is critical because it affects everything that comes after. There are three main options you need to know. The first is a Kabushiki Kaisha, often called Keikai. This is similar to a corporation. It is the most respected structure in Japan, and is often used by larger or long-term companies. The second is a Godo Kaisha, or GK. This is similar to a limited liability company. It is simpler, cheaper, and more flexible for small to medium businesses. The third option is opening a branch office of a foreign company. This is used when you already have a business in another country, and want to expand into Japan. Now here's where most people make their first mistake. They assume the Keikei is always better because it sounds more prestigious. But that is not always true. Keikei requires more paperwork, stricter governance, and higher setup costs. For example, Alex from Germany wants to start a consulting business in Tokyo. He thinks he should choose Keikei because it sounds professional. But in reality, GK would be faster, cheaper, and easier to manage for his type of business. So the key lesson here is simple. The best structure depends on your business model, not just reputation. Now, let's move to the second step, which is choosing your company name. In Japan, company naming is more flexible than many countries, but it still follows rules. Your name must not conflict with existing registered companies, and it must be written properly in Japanese or Roman characters. Now here's something important. Even though English names are allowed, most official documents will still require Japanese translations. So you must plan for that from the beginning. This is where many foreigners slow down. They pick a name, fall in love with it, and later discover it creates legal or translation issues. So always check availability and compatibility early. Now let's move to the third step, which is preparing your company seal. This is something unique to Japan. Instead of just signatures, companies use official seals called hanko, or inkon. These seals are legally important. They are used for contracts, banking, and government filings. Now here's where it gets interesting. You will usually need multiple seals. A company seal, a bank seal, and sometimes a representative seal. Without these, you cannot complete registration or open a bank account. Now let's move to the fourth step, which is preparing your articles of incorporation. This is one of the most important legal documents in your entire setup. It defines your company purpose, structure, share distribution, and internal rules. For a KK company, the articles must often be notarized by a Japanese notary public. This step is mandatory. Now here's the problem many foreigners face. They try to translate documents themselves or use incorrect legal formatting. In Japan, formatting mistakes can cause rejection, even if the content is correct. So accuracy matters more than speed here. Now let's move to the fifth step, which is capital deposit. Japan does not require extremely high capital to start a company. In fact, you can start with as little as 1 yen in theory. But in practice, most companies start with at least 1 million yen or more to show stability. For example, Jake from the US wants to open a marketing agency in Osaka. If he registers with very low capital, banks may see his company as high risk when he applies for an account later. So even though low capital is technically allowed, practical credibility matters. Now here is a key insight. Your capital is not just a number. It influences trust, banking access, and even visa eligibility. Now, let's move to the sixth step, which is company registration. Once your documents are ready, you submit them to the Legal Affairs Bureau in Japan. This is the official government authority responsible for company registration. They will review your articles, your seals, your capital proof, and your structure. Now here's where patience becomes important. The review process usually takes 1 to 3 weeks depending on the region. If everything is correct, you will receive your official company registration certificate. This certificate is your legal proof that your company exists in Japan. But here's the important part. Registration is not the final step. It is only the beginning of operational setup. Now let's move to the seventh step, which is opening a corporate bank account. This is one of the most challenging steps for foreigners in Japan. Banks are extremely strict. They will review your business plan, your company structure, your address, and sometimes even interview you. Now, here's something most people don't expect. Even if your company is legally registered, your bank account can still be rejected if your business activity is unclear or high risk. So you must prepare a strong, simple, and realistic business explanation. For example, John from Canada applies for a tech consulting company. If he explains his business clearly with clients, revenue model, and structure, his approval chances increase significantly. But vague explanations often lead to rejection. Now let's talk about the eighth step, which is business visa requirements. If you are a foreign founder, you will likely need a business manager visa to live and operate in Japan. To qualify, you usually need a physical office in Japan, a business plan, and sufficient capital or investment structure. Now here's the key insight. Immigration authorities look for stability, not just ideas. They want to see that your business is real, operational, and sustainable. This is why proper setup before applying for a visa is essential. Now let's move to taxes. Once your company is active, you must register for corporate tax, consumption tax, and local taxes. Japan's tax system is structured and predictable, but compliance is strict. For example, companies must file annual tax returns and maintain accurate accounting records. Now here's a mistake many founders make. They delay hiring an accountant. In Japan, this can cause serious compliance issues. So professional accounting support is highly recommended from the beginning. Now let's discuss common mistakes. The first mistake is choosing the wrong company structure. The second mistake is underestimating document requirements. Third mistake is ignoring cultural and language requirements. The fourth mistake is weak business explanations for banking. And the fifth mistake is applying for a visa too early without proper company setup. Now let's bring everything together. Starting a company in Japan in 2026 is absolutely possible for foreign entrepreneurs. But success depends on structure, preparation, and precision. If you choose the right legal structure, prepare your documents correctly, secure your seal system, register your company properly, and handle banking and visa requirements step by step, you can build a stable and respected business in Japan. Now here's your quick summary. First, choose KK or GK depending on your business needs. Then prepare your company name and seals. Next, draft and notarize your articles of incorporation. After that, deposit your capital and register your company with the Legal Affairs Bureau. Then open your bank account and apply for your visa if needed. Finally, set up tax registration and accounting systems. And here is the final insight. Japan rewards precision. It does not reward speed. If you follow the system correctly, you will find one of the most stable and trustworthy business environments in the world. If you found this guide helpful, like the video, leave a comment with your business idea, and subscribe for more step-by-step global company formation guides. In the next video we will compare Japan with Singapore so you can decide which market fits your business best.